morning, Tottenham fans. I've been watching the Premier League for the last 2 weeks since it started. Been watching other teams as well as Spurs. And I've thought to myself, have we as fans overhyped other team signings? Because I'm watching Man United at the moment, and although that Cunha and Mbeumo and Sesko look okay going forward, none of them have scored a goal or even got an assist yet, I don't think, unless you count Mbeumo's cross for the corner today. But they had not really made that much of an impact, and they spent £200 million, and we were all really upset that our side's not doing that. Then you look at Manchester City, all the signings that they've made. We go to their ground and we beat them 2-0 quite comfortably. Again, we haven't made nowhere near the amount of signings that they've done. You've got Arsenal that are top of the league at the moment, and they've made a hell of a lot of signings, but they're only one goal ahead of us at the moment. So are we overhyping all of this? Look at Nottingham Forest signing 7 or 8 players, and they're 2 points behind us at the moment. Yes, it's a long way to go. Yes, it's only been 2 games and there's a lot that can happen. But what I'm saying is, I think we're getting overworked, me included. I think we're getting really overworked with what other transfer business is going on, and I think what's happening is we're comparing ourselves to other teams, and it's getting us more irate that we're not signing top players. But when I looked at our own squad and I compared it to the beginning of last season, our squad is actually a lot stronger than I realised, especially because there's a few players that have improved, signings that have come in have hit the ground running straight away. The younger players have got experience. And I want to go through those players with you today in today's video and tell you why this squad is pretty decent, but there's still some signings we need to do. And if we get those signings over the line, we can massively compete at the top, in my opinion. We really could. Frank has got us purring, and he needs to be backed. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. I'm on the road to 3,000 now, only a couple of hundred away, and I will hit that target. I can't believe it. I didn't even think I'd hit 100, so I appreciate everybody that subscribed to me. It's really, really appreciated. And please hit that like button if you think Spurs can get another victory against Bournemouth next week and become top of the league. Come on. So let me go through the squad, and let me tell you that why I think it's not as bad as maybe people may think. Maybe because of last season. You got to remember last season, so many players were injured. It does hit your cohesion. It does hit your match fitness, your match sharpness. You know, players are coming back, and then they're coming back from injury. Then they've got to play twice per week and then get injured again. It was really, really unlucky last year. It really, really was. So if you go to the beginning of last season and look at it now, look at the 3 players for me that improved the most since then is Jed Spence. Now, Jed Spence has come on leaps and bounds. At the beginning of last season, he wasn't even first choice. He wasn't even thought of, and he wasn't even put in the Europa League squad. Now look at him. For me, he's now probably the best one-on-one defender in the league, playing out of position at left back. He is a brilliant defender, and now that's another player that's boosted and strengthened our squad and given us another really, really good option. Now we have Udogie and Spence in that position, 2 really strong players. Then you've got to think of Richarlison. Myself, he's winning me over, because the amount of times I criticised him, said he can't hold on to the ball, he can't shoot, he can't pass, he's slow. You know, he's really proven me wrong. And I don't know what Frank's done with him, but he's now a menace. Maybe he's just fit again. Maybe this is the first time he's been fit properly in a long, long time. But he is a menace. He's got 3 goal contributions already this season, and that's somebody I would have been put on first on the list to sell. So again, Richarlison is now, if he can stay fit, and this is the key to this whole video, if Richarlison can stay fit, that's another person that's going to strengthen our squad this season. Now, the third one is what everyone's favourite at the moment, is Papa Matar Sarr. What a player he's turning into. Sarr Toure. That's who he reminds me of. He's such a good player now. And Frank's got him playing to his strengths, and he's just getting better and better every week. He can get assists, he can score goals, he runs for days, he gets interceptions. He's just everywhere on that pitch, and he's somebody that you'd love to have playing by your side. He's just somebody that he would put in the hard work, and he makes you work harder too, because he's going to do it. And he's another person that wasn't in the first team last season. Last season's first choice three would probably have been Bentancur, Bergvall and Maddison. Now Sarr is one of the first names in that midfield. So again, the strength of our squad has increased again. Now, if you look at the new signings as well, and two of them have come in and hit the ground running straight away, and that's Paulinho and Kudus. Paulinho scored his first goal against Manchester City, and he's just that Iron Man in that six that we've needed for so long. He just can read the game really well. He can intercept. He's a tough tackler. He's strong. He's tall, so he wins headers. And he just screens play really, really well. And he's really improved Bentancur's game as well, who I'll get onto in a bit. But he's really improved our midfield. He's really made us solid. And you can see in the game against Manchester City how more solid we are with him in the side. And then if I move on to Kudus has been exceptional. He's got 2 assists so far this season. Had an exceptional game against Manchester City in and out of position. I didn't realise how hard of a worker he was. If you listen to West Ham fans, he's lazy. I'll tell you what, he's the least laziest right winger I've seen in a long, long time. He is absolutely exceptional. He's very hard to get the ball off. He's very strong, and he will run for days as well. So 2 players that have really improved our squad as well. They've hit the ground running, and it's really, really nice to see. Now, if you add into that Danso, who came in January, wasn't there at the beginning of the start of last season. Danso is a quality backup for Romero or Van der Ven, or he's just as good at playing in a back three with them two as well. He's a solid, quite fast, strong, wins headers. He's a kind of guy that you want in your back, especially when you're trying to hold out a lead like we did against Manchester City, and we bring him on just to win the headers out of the box. Perfect guy to bring on, or perfect guy to put in a back three. So again, our squad depth, even in defence, is much better now. We had to play Archie Gray there. Now we've got Danso. That's a massive upgrade, in my opinion. We added Tell and Takai. Takai in the summer and Tell in January. Tell is yet to show us anything that he can improve this squad, so I'm not going to count him in the improvements, but he's somebody that we have banging, so I just mentioned him. Takai, we haven't seen anything of him whatsoever because he's been injured since he's been here, so we can't really say he's improved. But if you think about it so far, Spence, Sarr, Richarlison, Paulinho and Kudus, all 5 weren't considered as first teamers at the beginning of last season. Now look at all 5 of them now first teamers. This is how strong our squad is getting now. Now, if you add the experience from the younger players that they didn't have at the beginning of last season. Remember, Gray had to slot in at right back, left centre back, left back, centre back, and he never really got going in a position. Now he can play in that midfield. He's got a year's experience of the Premier League, which is going to be massively help him. And for me, the cameos I've seen him play, people were saying it was a drop-off when Paulinho came on. Maybe, because Paulinho is absolutely exceptional. But Gray was actually very, very good technically on the ball and used the ball very, very well. Then if you move on to Bergvall, for me, when he's come on, or when he started against Burnley, I thought he was really, really good. I think he was very underrated in that game. I think he was exceptional last season, but remember at the beginning, well, say the first 4 months of last season, first 5 months, he was mistake after mistake. He was not used to the pace of the Premier League, and he was really finding it hard to get going. And now those two have both got a year under their belts, which can only bode well for the experience of this squad. So for me, the squad's improved by them two just for that. Now, if you add on top of that, the players that were injured for large portions of last season, Romero, Van der Ven, Udogie, Vicario, then you think to yourself, bloody hell, if fingers crossed, we keep those back 5, including Spence as well in that. if we keep them all fit this season, imagine the amount of extra points we would gain just by keeping players fit. Now, it's a massive, massive loss when you haven't got Romero, Van der Ven, Udogie and Vicario out for 3 months of the season. It's going to affect you, especially playing 2 games per week. If we can keep them fit, rotate them with the likes of Danso and Takai when he comes back, and Ben Davis, and Udogie and Spence rotating, and maybe if we're playing a League Cup game and we're playing a League 2 team, putting Archie Gray at right back or something like that, just to rotate them a bit more. Try to keep them all fit. And we can keep them fit all season. That would be a massive, massive improvement to the squad as well. It would. I know you inevitably get injuries, I know that. But if we don't have long-term injuries, like every single player that went out, absolutely went out for like 3 months at a time, and it was really hitting the squad. It really was. Included in that is Odegaard as well, because he obviously got injured for most of that season, and he hasn't had a chance to show what he can do. I've seen some glimpses of him doing some good things. He still needs to prove himself, but again, he was injured for most of last season, hasn't really had a chance to show us anything. Then I'll move on to Bentancur, who's been fantastic this season so far. He could be another upgrade in our squad, because if you think about it, last season he had 7-game ban, so he missed 7 Premier League games last season just from that. He missed a hell of a lot of games before that through injury. He came back from his injury, had the ban, got back from that, got injured again. He missed a huge chunk. If Bentancur can stay fit this season as well, that is a massive, massive upgrade in our squad again. So there's a lot of quality in this squad that we're probably overlooking because they've been injured so much. And the fact that we still got Kulu and Maddison that I've not even mentioned. The Kulu should be back in January. It's probably going to take him a month to get fit. So Kulu and Maddison are probably not going to make much of an impact this season. So this leads me to, do we need any transfers? Do we need any signings? Yes, we do. We massively need a number 10 and a left winger, in my opinion. Although Johnson is exceptional at scoring goals, it's not a critical thing to say he doesn't impact the game too much other than that. And don't get me wrong, scoring goals is the hardest thing to do. So he's absolutely exceptional at finishing. He really is. But if you want a bit of difference and you want somebody that can run at defenders like Kudus does on the other side, then maybe, for example, I don't think it's going to happen, but maybe if Savinho was on the left and he was taking players on and we just couldn't get that goal, but we were threatening, Johnson would be a massive asset to come off the bench and maybe try and score, especially when he's got fresh legs and the defenders are tired. He'd be able to get in those spaces easier and be able to finish. So it'd be a massive asset to have another left winger, a very tricky one, to tire out the fullback and then bring Johnson on. And then we need a number 10 simply because Kulu and Maddison are not going to make much impact this season. If we had a hard-working number 10 like Papa Sarr was doing, Papa Sarr was actually exceptional in number 10 role. If we can get a number 10 player with a touch of class and somebody that will run for days, that would be 2. And I'd love to have Sarr as the backup number 10 as well. That'd be perfect for me. And getting them 2 in, I think just 2 more. I think 2 more would be absolutely perfect for this squad. I think the youngsters will shine through. I think the youngsters will get better and better. I think Frank will improve them. He's already proved he can improve players because he's improved Richarlison and Sarr massively. Spencer's come on leaps and bounds under him. Bentancur looks much better player now. So I do believe that the youngsters, I think Gray will come through at some point. I do. I think he is a very, very talented player. So this squad is actually a lot better than we're all giving it credit for, and it will shine through. And it's already starting to shine through. 2 games, 2 wins, no goals conceded and 5 goals scored, and we haven't got a number 10 yet. So all of us really complaining about other sides making top signings and all that sort of stuff, maybe we're overhyping them because they're not doing that great, are they? Look at Manchester City. They looked awful against us. We made them look awful, don't get me wrong. But maybe we are just trying to overhype other teams when really we should be hyping ourselves up, because we are actually doing a very, very good job so far this season. Frank does need help. He does need a couple of signings over the line. And if he can get those 2 top quality players in, we could have a very, very good season. We should be then challenging for top 4. It's depending on injuries, and it depending on when we're playing Champions League games week in, week out, 2 games per week. Can we handle that? That's 2 really massive issues we need to handle. But if Frank can handle that, the squad can handle it, then I have no doubt we will be up there in the top 4 race this season. Let me know in the comments what you think of the squad. Am I now overhyping our squad? Or do you think we need to improve more and more and more? Do we need more than 2 players? Thank you for watching. Come on, you Spurs.